Hey everyone, it's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great day today. It's Monday afternoon. Kind of a rainy day out there today, but it's not too cold. Um, Today I wanted to continue my series on albums you need to listen to, and I've chosen a one that I've been looking for quite a while actually. Chicago 5. Before I get into it, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed so far. I greatly appreciate it. I want to continue to put great content out there to be informative and to show you guys some great bands and artists that I have in my collection. Yeah, so up until Chicago 10, these guys were fantastic. I mean, what can I say? They're an amazing band. I just would prefer their first 10 albums, mainly because of the late great Terry Kath, the super amazing guitarist from that era. And this was one that I was looking for to fill that void. I had, except for their third album, which was the live album, I've got pretty much all the other ones up until 10. So again, this one's Chicago 5. Um, Amazing album. It's got a little wear on the top, but that's okay. Originally, when it first came out, this used to be split down the middle, and it would open up door like a door type of thing. Um, but I haven't found that one. So those of you that may think of Chicago as a huge ballad band, I mean they are and have been for a long time. They've been together for 50 some years, but they originally started out as a rock band with horns. Um, Chicago is an American band formed in 1967. They started out calling themselves Chicago Transit Authority, and their first album, which was a double album, which was just super amazing. Then they had to change their name, and they shortened it just simply Chicago. Um, their first and second albums are probably a couple of their best albums ever. And again, the second album is a live album. This actually is the only album that, up until that point, that is a single album. Everything else, up until that point, was a double album. Uh, Basically, one of the original rock and roll bands with horns, blending elements of classical, jazz, rhythm and blues, pop, and rock music together. Their earlier songs were politically charged. Um, they were a big hit with college students back in the day, and mainly about the Vietnam War, and then later moved to a softer sound, generating a ton of huge hits and ballads, um, known pretty much as the Peter Cetera years. Billboard has ranked Chicago number 9 on a list of top 100 bands. They were one of the top selling bands of all time, selling over 100 million albums worldwide. Can you imagine? 100 million albums. They sold 40 million just in the US alone. 23 gold, 18 platinum, 8 multi-platinum albums, 5 consecutive number 1 albums on the Billboard 200, and 20 top 10 singles on the Billboard's Top 100. They were named and inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2016, the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2014, and a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2020. Simply put, they're huge, huge band. Still playing. Completely different lineup except for 3 main players: Lee Loughnane, Robert Lamb, and James Pankow. Everyone else is pretty much has been replaced or has left the band. So on this particular album, Chicago 5, it's the fourth studio album released in 1972. Even though it's called Chicago 5, the third album was a live album, so that it wasn't considered a studio album. So this is the fourth studio album. It's the band's first single album release, as the previous albums, as I said, were all double albums. And there was also a 4-box disc set of live material. Chicago 5 has Robert Lamb all over it, basically writing 8 out of the 10 songs on the album. Terry Kath, the amazing late guitar player, singer extraordinaire, has sang the last song, Alma Mater, and Peter Cetera didn't really have any compositions on this album either. He had written previously on the other albums. The record was cut just under a week, and Saturday in the Park, which came from this, was they released it just shortly before the release of the album. It became the band's biggest selling hit, and reached number 3. Chicago 5 became Chicago's first #1 album, spending 9 weeks on the charts, so it's no slouch. So I should reverse a little bit. Chicago at that time featured Robert Lamb on vocals and keyboards, amazing singer-songwriter. Peter Cetera on vocals and bass. I can't take anything away from Peter Cetera, even though with his influence and David Foster's influence, they did turn into a mellower, ballady type of band. But he could definitely play a bass, and he could definitely sing. Again, the late great Terry Kath on guitars and vocals. Jimi Hendrix stated one time, because they used to tour with Jimi Hendrix, saying that Terry Kath was a better player than he was, and it was just amazing. Lee Loughnane on trombone, James Pankow on trumpet, and I believe backing vocals as well. Walter Perezader on woodwind and sax, and Danny Serafin on drums. Amazing album. So it starts off with a hit by Varese. I'm just going to play it for. For those who think this was a ballad type of band, these guys rocked. All is Well.
All is well again.
Now That You've Gone. It's a great album. Dialogue Part 1. A great vocal duet between Terry Kath and Peter Cetera. I'll just forward it just a little bit so you can hear the vocals.
But the way that things are going, no, I never ever think of it at all.
Dialogue Part 2. Chicago music makes me happy. While the City Sleeps. I'll just push this just a little forward. Sounds a little bit like Styx right about there. big hit, Saturday in the Park. State of the Union. This is a very good album. Great horn section. Then we have Goodbye. They could play complex instrumentals like this, and then come in with amazing vocals, and yeah, it was just amazing. Then we finally have Alma Mater, again sung by Terry Kath and written by Terry Kath. You wonder what he could have accomplished if he was still around. So there you have it. I wish I could play the whole album for you. Chicago 5, definitely an album you need to listen to. Check out Chicago 1 through 10, pretty much. Chicago Transit Authority, and then Chicago 2, and so on and so forth. You'd be mildly surprised for sure. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please like and subscribe below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed. Have yourself a wonderful day, and take care. Bye-bye now.